Eden Hazard scored Chelsea's first penalty in the Premier League this season. Eden Hazard scored twice in a brilliant display as Chelsea beat Newcastle to briefly draw level on points with second-placed Manchester United in the Premier League. On his return to the starting 11, Hazard fired the Blues level with an angled strike after Dwight Gale's poked effort had given the Magpies a surprise lead. Striker Alvaro Morata made it 21 to the hosts when he headed in from close range following Victor Moses' driven cross. Hazard made sure of Chelsea's 10th league win of the season with a penalty after Matt Ritchie fouled Moses in the area. Relive the action from Stamford Bridge. Saturday's other Premier League games. Hazard leads by example. Chelsea's victory moved them to within 8 points of unbeaten leaders Manchester City. And if they are to make it a three-team title race, keeping Hazard in peak condition could be key. 9 shots, 6 on target, and 2 goals underlined why, of all manager Antonio Conte's riches, it is the former Premier League Player of the Year he cannot do without. It was Hazard who brought Chelsea level after they were handed an early jolt by Newcastle. Cesar Azpilicueta's ball from the right was blocked by Florian Lejeune, but the loose ball found its way to the Belgium international, who smashed in his 7th goal in 10 games. The home side then took control and led 12 minutes before halftime when Moses, who like Hazard was brought back into the lineup, fired a cross in the direction of Morata. The Spain international nodded in from barely a yard out. Newcastle, perhaps fearful of a capitulation similar to the one they had at Old Trafford recently, sat back after the break. However, Chelsea still found gaps and won a penalty. When Ritchie brought down Moses, the unflappable Hazard dinked the resulting spot kick past Karl Darlow for his 6th goal against Newcastle in the league. The Magpies keeper then denied the Belgian a hat-trick when he stuck out a hand to claw away a shot. Hazard was substituted to a standing ovation moments later. It was the least he deserved. Newcastle slip again after promising start. Newcastle striker Dwight Gale had as many touches in the Newcastle area as the opposition box. Defeat at Stamford Bridge means it is now no wins in 6 for Rafael Benitez. Newcastle asked in a post-match interview why that was the case, the Spaniard replied, "It's the Premier League." Just as they had in the opening quarter of last month's match at Manchester United, the Magpies took the lead. Gale, who started in place of Joselu, tapped in after following up Thibaut Courtois' parry from Jacob Murphy's shot. Then, once again, the difference in quality began to show. The usually reliable Ritchie conceded a penalty and made a mistake for Chelsea's second. Midfielder Mikel Merino misplaced passes, and bar his goal, Gale only had one other touch in the Chelsea box. Newcastle can assert their authority in games but appear not to have the players to sustain it. They remain 5 points clear of the relegation zone, but come January could easily find themselves in yet another dogfight. Man of the match Eden Hazard. Chelsea have a busy month ahead of them. It is integral for them to keep this player fit. Hazard was unplayable. Analysis. Match of the day. Pundit Alan Shearer said Eden Hazard was unplayable. At times, Newcastle could not get near him. His game just had everything and his feet are so quick, just magnificent. He just has everything in his game. He destroyed Newcastle, but he will destroy some more teams this season. We showed good intensity. The reaction. Chelsea head coach Antonio Conte, speaking to BBC Sport, "I think our start wasn't good enough. After going 10 down, we started to play with good intensity and good football. Our start was a bit slow. We did well after only 2 days rest. It was a solid performance despite the goal. We showed good motivation and good intensity. I made rotations in the game and the response of my players was positive. I think that today, to play and win after 2 days of rest means a lot." Newcastle had the advantage with 1 day more of rest. Newcastle manager Rafael Benitez: "We made mistakes against good players. With the quality they have, they punish you. We were in the game and you never know what can happen at 1-21. A top side played against a team that was giving everything. We knew him Hazard really well. He has good movements. You cannot control everyone. When he received the ball he can make the difference. We were doing quite well for a while but mistakes made the difference." Capital punishment for Newcastle. The stat. Chelsea recorded their 16th Premier League home win against Newcastle, their joint most versus one side alongside Spurs, also 16 wins. Conte has won all 17 Premier League games with Chelsea in which Hazard has scored. Newcastle lost their 70th Premier League game in London, the joint most of any away side in the competition, level with Everton. Newcastle have won just one of their past 19 away Premier League games. W1D4L14. Since the start of season, Morata has scored 11 headed goals, more than any other player in Europe's Big Five leagues. Hazard has scores more Premier League goals versus Newcastle United than against any other team in the competition. 6. Hazard has had a hand in 11 goals in his past 10 games in all competitions for Chelsea. 8 goals, 3 assists. Since the start of last season, Gale has scored 25 league goals for Newcastle, more than double any other player has netted for the club. What's next? Chelsea host Atletico Madrid in the Champions League on Tuesday 19:45 GMT and are then at London rivals West Ham 12:30 GMT next Saturday. Newcastle entertain Leicester next Saturday, 17:30 GMT.